Hello, welcome back. We are ready to get started on making our project. So go ahead and open the Epic Game Launcher. Make sure you have the proper engine version installed. So in this case, 5.6. If you don't have it, under engine version, you just hit this little plus sign and navigate to 5.6 over here. In this case, I already have it installed, so it's ready to go. I do need a few plugins though to get started. So the first one, if you just search for Fab, you're going to want to install the Fab UE plugin. So install the engine. In this case, we want 5.6, so make sure this is changed to 5.6, and then hit install. So this will be useful once we're in engine. This is going to give us a direct link to the marketplace and allow us to install things directly there. We also have Quixel Bridge that we'll want to install as well. So until recently, this has kind of not worked the way you want it to in Editor. The bridge has kind of been busted, but this is all fixed now in 5.6, which is great. It's going to be a huge time saver. So in Editor, we'll be able to use both the Fab Marketplace and the Quixel Bridge to bring over materials, bring over textures, scenes, whatever we want that we can use for our scene. Next up, we're going to go ahead and launch 5.6. So hit the little launch button, and it's going to launch the editor and ask us a couple questions about what kind of project we want to set up. So once this pops up, this is the kind of project we're going to create. We're going to make a games project, and it's going to come with a couple options. In this case, I think just because of the textile density we have planned, and just being able to kind of explore the world, I'm thinking first person would be a good template to start with. So I'm going to go ahead and use the first person project as a starting point, and we're going to navigate to our folder. And then give it a name. So in this case, I'm calling mine Scott K. Closo, and all this stuff by default looks like it's good, and I'm just going to hit create. Awesome. Now that we are in our project, we don't really have much in here yet. We have a couple prototype elements, some stuff that comes with Unreal, but I actually went in and added this unfinished building set of assets from the Fab Marketplace. This is something I downloaded before, and I'll show you really quick how to add it to your project. So first you're going to hit this, now that we've installed our plugins beforehand and before we open the engine, now that we're in engine, let's do this quickly add to project button. And you'll see here we have Quixel Bridge and Fab both here. So these are the plugins that we installed before we opened Editor. So let's open Bridge first. So this is going to have a bunch of really nice Megascans assets. I'm just going to go ahead and dock this next to my place actors. You're going to want to go ahead and sign in, and then you can go in here and like add any of these assets that you want that are free, or if you want to pay for them, and they'll automatically bring the textures. They can set up materials, set up blend materials if you want them, and add them directly to your project. You can also do that with the Fab Marketplace. So if you open up Fab, and again, I'm going to dock this here. If you come in here, again, you're going to want to make sure you're signed in. But if you type in Quixel, you can do a couple filters here. So Quixel is going to have a bunch of really awesome things that you can add to your project, and you're able to filter by price right now. So like all this stuff, a lot of this stuff is free, but there's stuff that's like, this is $3, this is $4. But if you want to search only for free stuff, just go to your filters, price, and check free. And now this is all the free stuff available from Megascans. So this has got like a lot of cool stuff already. This is the asset bundle that I ended up getting, this unfinished building. It has a ton of really good architectural materials, some good modular pieces like these pillars, these support beams, It has some props, some debris, a bunch of really good stuff that we can use for our project. Windows, has some light fixtures. So look dev wise, we'll probably want to make some adjustments to hit the visual reference I was going for my project. So this will be a good opportunity to like go in, see how they've set things up, and make adjustments where needed. But you can kind of see like what's included with this pack. So a lot of really cool stuff. And then once you see something you like, you just hit add to your project, which I've already done. And it'll add it under your content. So if we just check out, here's like a sample scene they've included. So we can just see what we got ourselves into by downloading this really quick. Cool, so we got the scene loaded. I'll also move some of this stuff over. We can kind of see what we got going on here. Looks like it's kind of a little diorama, which is really neat. It's got some blocking geometry for the outside. It's kind of like a little shell around these pieces. And then we got a pretty large floor, some pillars, some ceiling beams. So a lot of cool stuff to play with here. Let's see, are these solid? Yeah, these are all solid. So pretty versatile pieces, it looks like. Yeah, there's some really nice pieces here and some stuff that we can definitely steal for our project and repurpose. Here's those kind of debris pieces that are great for, again, like going between those transitions of your floor and your walls. There's a couple stair pieces. Let's see how this stuff is built. Looks like there are some decals as well. So you can kind of see what that looks like with and without. Another stair piece. Oh, interesting. So this actually is the same stair piece, but they have an additional kind of ramp underneath it. And it looks like this is like a really simple piece, and they are using these scan stairs kind of with it, it looks like, and then also using some decals to give a little bit of wear and help integrate it with the other stairs as well. So this without decals, so if we just search for decal, select all and hide them, this is what it looks like in the scene without any of these decals. And with, so decals are actually carrying a lot of weight, it looks like, in this scene, and also covering up a lot of seams in the textures and stuff like that as well. Yeah, overall really cool scene. We'll definitely have fun playing with this. They've also included another scene just to kind of show how else you're able to use it, where they're using similar pieces in different ways. If we go back to Fab, see if there's any other ones that might be useful for us. I know that we want that Icelandic kind of terrain, so maybe getting a more natural kit, like maybe this Dark Ruins one. I need to go back and search for Quixel. So yeah, anything you can use in your projects, definitely check out the licensing for this stuff. In the case of Quixel assets, I know those are safe to use, so I'm gonna kind of stick with those for now, but that fjord was really cool. So yeah, let's just keep adding things that might be helpful for us. So this cliff rock, this might be useful. So I'll add this to the project, and let's just see what happens with that. So we have a new folder here called Fab, mega scans inside of it, and then surfaces, the rock name, and it looks like it comes with a material as well, which is great. So this is already hooked up. So like if I were just to drag and drop this onto our floor, we could see that rock and its intended tiling, how that could be added to a surface. So obviously we don't want this here, but just to kind of show off what that looks like. I believe you can also flag it to be a blend material. So I think actually the Fab Marketplace, I'm not sure if it, when you download Quixel assets through here. I'm not sure if they will have the blend material functionality like is if you download them from Bridge. So if we go back over to Bridge, or when I hit make blend material, I had to have it selected in my content browser and then hit this here, create blend. And I didn't know where it went at first, so I went all the way up to content, typed in blend material, and here it is. So it doesn't actually make a material. It uses a material that already exists, the Megascan surface blend material, and it'll make a material instance for you. So in this case, it made the material instance for me right here. So if I were to drag this on to the floor here, I can come in here and add additional layers. So I have my base layer, which is already piped in, but if I want to add a middle or top layer, I can add those as well. So this is got the same textures plugged into these two layers at the moment, but if I came back to clear this filter, this other one that we downloaded, I can plug this in. So bam, bam, bam. So now I have two different texture sets being blended between here. Actually, I had a third layer that snuck in there as well. So you can see here's the two layers that I downloaded, and this is another layer that was just already there, this tile. So if I would come back over to Bridge and I find another Icelandic thing that I want to do, I can add that here. And I actually saw that they have a whole Iceland environment kind of group. So these are all the assets that are in there, and this is like pretty perfect for the project I'm doing. There's a bunch of good 3D assets that we can blend into our terrain, and a bunch of really good textures and materials. So let's say I really wanted this one. I could download this one as well, and then add that to my project. It's added it here under surfaces. I'll come back to my blend material here. I'm going to swap these out. And now I have all three of my layers there. So now that we got our kind of basic blend material, we can swap this kind of stuff out for whatever textures we want. But real quick, I just want to show in Bridge how cool this is. So if you hit this little circle globe icon, it has all the collections here. So in our case, we saw that Icelandic one that fits really well with what we're making, but they have a bunch of different ones. There's slums, medieval village, like all these things they've used to make other projects are in here, and a lot of the assets come with it. So for concrete though, like if I wanted individual pieces that could be useful for our brutalist structure, let's see if I can scoop some of these. So this is a 2x2 meter. I'm going to download the high quality one in this case. And yeah, it's saying this is not available either. So there might be something funky going on with Bridge where ones that aren't meant to be free are still showing up, and they're not saying like that you need to purchase them or anything. So I'm wondering if you need to like download them first through Fab. So in this case, I'm just going to stick with Fab for the rest of this. I was able to at least get my blend material set up using Bridge, but yeah, I think there's still some bugs here going on, it looks like. So I'm just actually gonna create a new scene, and we'll just do open world for right now. Actually, I'm gonna go to basic, new level. Now let's create a basic level and not save any of this stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and start scooping some of these pieces from Fab. So I found this really cool massive tundra rock formation that's very similar to the reference that I gathered. So definitely going to add that to my project. So click add project. And you know what, I'm actually going to, because it's such a massive piece, I think getting the high quality would probably be the move. So if we go to the static mesh and we put this in, oh, this is fantastic. So yeah, you can see like it doesn't really hold up if you get super close to it, but as like a midground and background piece, this is fantastic. So this will be great. Pretty versatile piece, it looks like. If I were to duplicate this around, you know, you can rotate it, make little valleys and stuff like that. So this is going to be great for blocking out our stuff. This Nordic beach one, this could be useful. So go ahead and, well, that's not free. For individual creator or small team. Okay, so there's different licenses here. So there are things that are like truly free, and there's things that have different agreements for licensing. So in this case, this is purely for educational purposes, so for reference only. So when I change that, now I'm able to add it to my project. Just be careful there. Like, you know, definitely don't use stuff if you're intending to commercially make things. Make sure you follow those licenses for sure. But that could be another reason that stuff wasn't showing up in Bridge, is that there's different licensing based on what your purchase is. So definitely watch out for that. Yeah, there's a ton of cool stuff here. So if I grab this one, so I'm just going to continue like grabbing things that I think I could use to build out my scene, and just know that all that stuff is being added here under Megascans. I have all my 3D things here separated from my surfaces. Within surfaces, there's textures. So I'm just going to keep kind of shopping around and grabbing stuff that I think will help me build out my scene. So first off, to create a terrain material, we're going to hit this little drop down here, and we will go to landscapes. Actually, sorry, not there. It's under selection mode. Selection mode, landscape, and down here in the landscape section, I'm just going to keep everything default. Enable edit layers, that's all good. So I'm just going to hit create. We don't have a material yet, but we will make one. So you can see here, there's different modes. You can sculpt, erase, smooth, flatten, make ramps. So as I move around here, I can make some rolling hills. But you can see how soft the features are. So that's what I was saying, like it's kind of good to get additional models and stuff to break this stuff up. You can also create ramps if you want to. Do things like this, like if you're doing a game that needs like a little bit more precision, you can make ramps. So I'm gonna reset that, get rid of that because we're actually not going to be making a ramp for this one. Smooth, we'll just kind of smooth this stuff out. Flatten, do exactly what it says. It's just going to flatten your terrain. So anyways, we have our terrain now. And the first thing I'm going to go do is hit landscape and enable nanite. And it's going to ask us to build the data for this. So it's going to build the nanite landscape mesh. And for all the meshes that we are downloading, we're also going to convert them to nanite so that they play nicely with Lumen.